Hi, welcome to this week's Dragonblade Authors Unplugged. We've got a full house and we don't even have everybody here this week. It's crazy how many releases we have. So if you have a long weekend of reading ahead of you, we got you covered. So let's just dive right in and see. Hold on a second. Let me see what's going on here. That's not what I needed. Somebody's making cookie noises. Oh, she's gone. Well, now that we're just going to keep rolling because we've had a lot of technical difficulties, so we're just going to keep going. So let's dive right in before anything else happens, and we're going to start with Meara's book, which is Snowfall and the Duke. Meara is also the author of the month for July with Snowfall and the Duke. So I don't know if she knows that because that's like insider information.
Oh, I don't know that yet.
We haven't announced it yet. We just did it in Teams yesterday. I was like, haha. So I'm breaking news here. It's Snowfall and the Duke, and it is the Silver Dukes, and it's book 4. Can you tell us about that one?
Yes. Oh, okay. This one, well, first of all, this Silver Duke series has just been magical. It's just been wonderful. The readers, I think, have been loving it. And Snowfall, I think, is probably the most charming of the 4 so far. And it's about a lovely young heroine who's she's a vicar's niece. It's the Christmas holidays are coming up, and she's gone to the Duke to try to get some charity donations because they're going to have a big Christmas ball at the vicarage, and they need money to help all the needy. You know, she's so good-hearted, right? And that's Alice. She's just a sweetheart. Everybody loves her. The Duke is just this big curmudgeon. He's just gotten word that his friends have set up a betting book on him at White's and on whether he's going to marry. So he's just furious about this. He enjoys his solitude. He just likes peace and quiet. And now he says, now everybody's going to be chasing after him. So Alice just comes up to him, hits him at a bad moment. And he said, okay, I'll give you your charity donations. I'll give you the entire amount if you give me 10 kisses in return. So the amount is £1,000 he's going to donate, but he wants to give him 10 kisses, £100 per kiss, thinking she's just going to slap him and walk away. But she says, yes, of course, she's going to do it.
Good deal.
Why not? She's almost 30, never been kissed, it's just like, this is it. When is she ever going to get the chance again? But as she's leaving, so they reach the agreement. As she's leaving, she there's a blizzard that just it's spring up. This snowstorm that springs up. As she's riding away, her horse slips on the ice, sends her tumbling. She dislocates her shoulder. The Duke happens to be looking out, sees it, grabs her, brings her back in. So now we have the setup, and the snow is falling, which is why it's Snowfall and the Duke. The storm does not let up, but he's trained in battle, so he knows a little bit of the medical stuff. He manages to fix the dislocated shoulder, but she's injured. I mean, it's still an injury. He's got to keep her, he has the arm bound in a sling, and he decides that since, none of the other guest rooms are ready because he doesn't want any company and he doesn't have plans to have any of them. She goes in his bed. Yes, thank you, Emily.
Only one bed and sunshine.
And that's the premise. So as she's there, they're trapped in the snow. Of course, he's got his staff who's there to help him and stuff. So it's not that they're alone, but still, he finds the moments when they have the few minutes alone, and he's going to give her, they're going to exchange the kisses. So as each scene goes on, he's just not going to give her the 10 kisses all at once, but as each scene goes on, as they get to know each other better, and as he starts to open up to her, each kiss kind of brings them closer to revealing what they've always kind of held in their hearts, that they do care for each other and love each other. So, of course, we throw in a little turmoil where we've got his mother and brother bring along an entire party of guests now. They're just going to, the mother writes to him, I'm coming, I'm bringing friends. We're going to have a Christmas party, because she wants him to get married. And of course, she's got Alice there, and he's got to figure out how to get her out without anybody seeing him. So there's a little bit of fun mayhem that goes on. She's just adorable, completely I can match him, you know.
Sounds like so much fun. And Grumpy Sunshine.
And it's just sweet and lovely. And so of course by kiss number 10, that kiss comes with a proposal as well, because he's well and truly fallen in love with her. So that's it. That's awesome. The story, and I just loved it. It's the sweetest. I think I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy with the way it came out. So.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like so much fun. And these heroes are a little bit older, aren't they?
Yes. And he's in his 40s, the Silver Duke. So he's in his 40s, has that lovely touch of silver at his temples. And she's approaching 30. And, you know, as I said, never been kissed. So she's just ready to have a kiss from a Duke. That's
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like so much fun. We're gonna shift things around because we've got Elizabeth now, so we're gonna jump right. Emily, just hold tight. We're gonna jump over Emily and do Elizabeth while we've got her. Elizabeth's book is a Lion's Den book that came out this week, and it's The Lion Rampant. Elizabeth, can you tell us about that one? Oh no! I was so optimistic. Okay, change of plans. We're gonna skip back to Emily. We're going to do it's An Eye for the Chance, and it's the Chances book 7. Is that right?
It is indeed. So if you haven't read the first 6 chances, pause this video, immediately go back, read the first 6. They're all in Kindle Limited, then come back. An Eye for the Chance. It's book 7, and we are following the next generation of chances. And Lady Evelyn Chance is very passionate about her art. She's a painter. She fully believes that she should be accepted by the literary and artistic community. But because she's a woman, of course she's not. And her biggest frustration is that
I can certainly try, so long as the gods of the internet allow me to remain with you for long enough.
Well, let's hold that thought, Emily. Okay.
Yep. I shall hold.
Yes, we're here. Can you tell us about The Lion Rampant? Uh-oh.
Losing again.
This is not going to work. All right. I'm sorry, Elizabeth. We'll hopefully we'll be able to catch up with her later. Emily, unhold your thought and roll on with the chances.
Okay. Lady Evelyn Chance. So Evelyn, great name. Evelyn,
I know, right?
Depending on how you want to pronounce it. So she is continuously frustrated because she's very good at nature, she's very good at landscapes, but the one type of art she's never managed to master is that of the human form. And that's because gentlemen are allowed to go to art sittings, and they have models sitting for them. But a lady couldn't possibly have a gentleman sit for her. That would be absolutely outrageous. So she decides to advertise, because what enterprising lady does not advertise? And fortunately, she does get a few rogues and a few rapscallions applying to be her model, but she also has Richard Semple. Richard Semple is, bless him, bored, incredibly bored. He's been off in France acting the spy, lots of excitement, lots of danger, and he, due to injury, is back in England, and he is bored out of his skull. He decides that if he's going to sit around doing nothing, he may as well sit around doing nothing in a way that's slightly more interesting. But when he goes to meet Lady Evelyn, she is very insistent that she knows absolutely nothing about him. She wants to consider him a blank slate. She doesn't want to be influenced by anything beyond his first name. And so they enter into this very strange arrangement that her parents are slightly concerned about, as the Earl and Countess of Lindo, that their daughter in the art studio that they've built for her in their garden, because they're very loving parents, find that this male model keeps traipsing in and then traipsing out at an indeterminate amount of time later. And although Evelyn is very determined to treat him as nothing but an object, their conversation starts to develop, and feelings get caught, and secrets are held by both of them, and all of a sudden, something rather close to affection seems to have developed, except that there are some secrets that probably should have been told rather earlier in their acquaintance, and it all gets rather complicated. So it's very much forbidden, grumpy meets bold heroine, very late night intimacy, scandalizing the ton, refusing, a little bit blue stocking, but kind of an artistic direction. I just had so much fun with this couple because they're very much not interested in what society thinks of them, but they're very interested in what society thinks of each other. And so there's a lot of double standards going on, a lot of kind of breaking down presumptions and expectations. And of course, eventually he's got to take all his clothes off because she's got to practice drawing thighs. So things get a little steamy in the art studio in the garden.
I've heard that libraries can be dangerous that way too.
Libraries and easels, apparently. It turns out you can't hide behind a paint box for too long. You have to go and measure certain things. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. It's for proportions. It's for art. You know, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Well, it sounds like a huge amount of fun.
I had so much fun writing it. And I think part of the joy of this series is that we are following a family. So the first 4 books are 4 brothers, and then the rest of the series is all of their children grown up 20 years later. And so you have recurring characters that feature from previous books. You get snippets and hints of future siblings or cousins. You have a huge amount of fun with family dynamics, you know, overbearing brothers or underbearing brothers who really should be worried about their sisters meeting gentlemen in art studios at all hours of the night. And so there's a huge amount of fun in seeing characters kind of 5, 10, 20 years later, but also getting hints of what's to come. And so this is book 7. Book 8 is already on pre-order, and there are 20 books in this series. So if you enjoy this book, you have a huge family of love stories to explore.
Well, and I love it when we have big families and I have a chance to like see everybody again and fall in love with where they are, and you just get little glimpses. It's like
they're so meddling. What I'm really enjoying about this family is even when I'm finished with a hero or a heroine, they are absolutely determined to interfere in their siblings' love stories. So you do have kind of very well-meaning brothers often, or conniving sisters who kind of dash in, try to fix things, ultimately make things incredibly worse, and then dash out again, leaving my hero and heroine to try and pick up the pieces and work out what the hell just happened.
Well, it sounds like big fun, and once we get attached, we can stay attached for a long time. So
absolutely, yeah.
Awesome. Well, the next book that came out is Christine's book, and it is Pursuing a Duke, and it's book 2 in the Widows of Mayfair series. Can you tell us about that one?
Yes. The book starts when Emmeline has her first season, and she meets 2 gentlemen who are best friends, Aidan Fitzpatrick and Andrew Hampton, who will become the Duke of Blackstone. She really falls in love with both of them. They fall in love with her. They both ask her to marry
this is
them.
A problem.
It's a big problem. Well, but one of them bows out because he knows how much his best friend loves her. So he bows out. So she marries Mr. Aidan Fitzpatrick. Flash forward 4 years, they're together at a house party, and Aidan dies in a hunting accident falling off a horse.
Oh.
Andrew, who's the Duke of Blackstone now, doesn't reveal all what happens with the death. He keeps some secrets from her because he doesn't want to hurt her, but he blames himself. So he goes down a very dark path for 6 years, doesn't come back to London for 6 years. And they reconnect again, and they instantly really do fall in love again. But he's keeping these horrible secrets, and it's ruining their relationship, and he feels she needs to find out. But by him, but she finds out from someone else. And she says she hates him and never wants to see him again, and she leaves. Eventually things do get better with the help of their other friends saying but there is another family who wants their daughter for the Duke, and enter this family, and they will do anything to get their daughter married to him. And Emmeline's life becomes in danger, and there's been a couple attempts on her life. So the Duke has to put everything aside and save her. and hire both street runners. I always have suspense in my books. It's just the way my brain works. But the good thing is everything get resolves and we have that beautiful happily ever after death and drama and lies and secrets and
goodness. And how many Widows of Mayfair do we have?
Right now I'm contracted for 5.
Awesome. So we still get 3 more books after this one.
Yes, so far. Yes.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds very exciting, and the like the idea of having what you think is your happily ever after interrupted, and then having to like resettle yourself is a really interesting premise.
Right.
So
thank you.
Awesome. Well, Elizabeth, we're going to try. The Lion Rampant. Tell us everything we need to know.
Well, I'm working on my iPhone now, and it looks as if it might actually stay connected to you. So, I've got to give a nod to Apple. Thanks. Yeah. Yes. Well, I've already written 1 book for the Lion's Den series, and this second book is actually connected. In the Lion and the Lamb, there was a young lady who was a scurrilous sister to the heroine of that book. And she has a bit of a murky past. She's had a bit of a mental breakdown. She's struggling to put her life back together. She hears about the services that Mrs. Dove-Lion offers at the Lion's Den. And she thinks, well, if my sister can get a husband there, I can get a husband there as well. Unfortunately, the ruse that she chooses initially is to dress up as a man and invade a card game in order to win a lot of money. Of course, she is found out doing this by somebody who is utterly deplorable, and she obviously decides she hates him. And of course, he's going to be the person that she keeps bumping into under awkward situations. That person is my hero. He is called Piers. He runs a theatre, so I decided to have a little bit of a romp in the Regency Theatre, because I thought that might be a nice, different kind of setting to use. He's also closely tied into the London lowlife, so I have a little peek in the book at street urchins and the sort of lives that they lead, and the sort of criminal underworld. But also I decided that it might be nice to take the book outside of London, so we go with the heroine, Belinda. She is sent away in disgrace back to the place where she had a rather naughty affair and hopes everybody's forgotten about it. That is Dartmoor in Devon, which is a wonderfully wild and rocky, windswept landscape. And of course, she just happens to bump into Piers there because he's got a mine in the area. And of course, she falls over and she hurts her ankle, and he feels obliged to do the kind thing. I don't really want to give too much away, but
that's enough to get me interested. I love the idea of doing the Regency Theatre, of like getting to see a little bit of the Regency Theatre. Yeah. And I love like that whole like almost enemies to lovers kind of thing, and a heroine who's willing to step outside her comfort zone. That's I'm in.
Oh, good, good. I'm glad it was worth it. I mean, it's one of the things that's happening a lot to me now, because we have actually moved to Dartmoor in Devon, and it is a fantastic place. It is absolutely crawling with artists and authors. I've met real authors face to face. I have coffee with them.
You have coffee. You have coffee with honest authors. That's fantastic.
Yes, it's the
dream, man.
It's inspirational, shall we say? So yeah, I hope I managed to get a little bit of that kind of feeling across in the story. It's a long way to their happy ending, but of course they do get there in the end.
Well, as long as we can count on that, we'll go on the long ride with you.
You can count on it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, the next book that came out this week is Kate's book, and it's Lady Dramatic, and it's book 4. Book 2. No.
4.
Book 4. So I knew there were lots more ladies in there, of a series of senseless complications. Can you tell us about this one?
Yeah, so the senseless complications continue. This is for Serenity, and she could have been out last year. She's a twin with Patience who already had her season, but she delayed for a year because she was hoping that her temperament would settle down a little bit, because she's a weeper. She weeps over everything. Could be a sunrise, could be a dead bee in the garden, doesn't really matter. And she knows that no one is going to want a weeping wife. So she's worked really hard at it, and has made no difference whatsoever. So yeah, she's still a weeper. So she encounters Lord Thorpe, who is a marquis who lives 2 doors down. And he has a reputation for being very, very reserved. And he's not. He's also kind of a weeper too. But both of them are convinced that they need to hide this element of their personality. And then there is Lord Thorpe's younger brother, Lord Charles, who is a very unhappy second son who knows Lord Thorpe's secret. And his joy in life is just to set up competitions with his brother and win them. Most of the time, his brother is not even engaged in them. But when he sees his brother's interest in Serenity, then the game is on. So he wants to win Serenity too. And because it's the Duke of Pelham's household, there's all sorts of shenanigans. There is a new butler installed in the house so that Mrs. Wright can figure out how to get him out again. He is the vicar's brother. So perhaps she hints that she might have dealings with the devil. So there's going on there that the bishop gets involved.
She's a determined woman.
Yeah, oh yeah. And then, of course, she also misreads the situation, as she always does, and thinks that Lord Thorpe is up to no good. So she takes some pretty drastic steps there. And as she always does, when she realizes she's mistaken, she just kind of shrugs the whole thing off. So it's the usual nonsense that goes on in that household. It's very light, very funny. Not
Just
particularly
complicating things.
Yeah, very comedy.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like huge fun. And I love that he's a weeper. I love the scene in The Holiday where Cameron Diaz's character goes back and finds Jude Law crying beside the thing. And it's like, when it gets you, it gets you. When the feels get you, they just get you.
They're both very much like that. And the thing that gets them the most is a hurt animal or a powerless person being hurt.
Oh, these are nice people.
They're very nice people, except they're working so hard to be what they think the other person wants.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like a lot of fun. And I love that. I love the comedy elements, and I love that the cast of characters, the ensemble cast, always makes things more complicated than it needs to be. Awesome. And we still have 3 more of these.
There's 7 in the book. Yeah.
Awesome.
And then I talked to Catherine about doing like a second generation. So we'll see.
Oh, fun. Oh, well, I'm going to cross my crossables for that one. So that sounds like huge fun. Well, I think we got through all the books this week. There's one more. Lily Harlem has a book that came out this week. She couldn't join us, but it's book 2 in the Vikings Rock series, and it's Holding Out for a Hero. And I have to sing the song in my head every time I read it, which nobody wants to hear. So it's a good thing my office is like a relatively private place. But I'll make sure I pop the link for that one in the comments with the links for all the other books so that you can grab it if you haven't gotten it. But we have a few minutes left. And since we were talking about how hot it was earlier on, and since tomorrow is a holiday in the States, I was wondering if you all had favorite summer treats that were like your favorite things to eat when you were kids, because I'm making hot dogs tomorrow. I never make hot dogs, but I'm making hot dogs tomorrow. And I just had like homemade ice cream not that long ago. That was that kind of icy kind, like the frozen custard kind, where it just has a little bit of that icy bit to it. So I wondered if you had like popsicles or icy pops, or, like for those of you who are not in the States, I would love something like that we don't know too. Would be great.
Where I live in Tavistock, we are supposed to be the historical originator of something called the cream tea. I don't know if you have heard of this. Emma
I have not.
has.
I mean, as a fellow Brit, I'm like, yes, the cream tea. It's a very important part of our cultural history.
Well, I need to know what a cream tea is.
Okay. Do you know what a scone or a scone is? Yeah. So you get one of those, cut it in half, maybe put a bit of butter on it, and then comes the difficult issue of whether you put cream on it first and then add jam on top of the cream, or whether you put the jam on it first and then put the cream on top of the jam.
And there have been like full-on family breakdowns, cultural divides, cities against cities, jam cream jam. It depends from where you live and where you're from, but it is like a serious issue.
It's like the English Civil War between Devon and Cornwall. Cornwall does it one way, Devon does it another way.
Well, if you find out something, jam and cream is probably like a legitimate thing.
Important. It's very important.
Which way do you go, Elizabeth? Are you jam first or cream first? On the record.
Well, because I have a sensitivity to dairy products, so I can't have proper cream anyway. I can only have kind of mushy vegetarian stuff. So it's definitely jam on first and then the mushy vegetarian cream on top.
And to be controversial, I find it easier to spread cream and then dollop jam on the top and try to spread jam and dollop cream. So I'm a cream first, but due to practicalities, not due to, I'm an East of England gal, not a West of England gal. So I have no particular loyalty to Devon or Cornwall, but it's a practicality issue for me.
Well, I have Cornish ancestry, but I do it the Devon way. But a lot of it, you say, Emily, it depends on the consistency of the jam.
You have to take these things into because this is why Britain is such a great nation. These are the real problems that we wrestle with.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, Devon and Cornwall are counties that are next door to each other. So there's a lot of neighbourly rivalry. And they're right on the west end, the closest part of the country to America, to Ireland. And so it's very, beach, very seaside town, very, very beautiful, both Devon and Cornwall. So we get a lot of tourists from England go to Devon and Cornwall for their holidays. That is a big holiday destination. But they have arguments over pasties, if it's a Cornish pasty or a Devon pasty, that's a savoury dish. And then the cream cheese.
Short crust pastry with savory filling, right?
Yes, and it's twisted all around the edge. And the idea is that you hold the twist, because in history that the miners would hold the twist and not eat that because they'd have dirty hands. So they'd eat all the delicious filling, but the crust is like a handle.
Yeah. Oh, I love the twisty part.
But I know that you are allowed to. You eat, but historically that's why it was made, so that you had to kind of the edge. But again, there's different ways. The Cornish pasty is legally protected. You cannot call it a Cornish pasty if it's not made in Cornwall. So it gets very complicated.
Well, I would fight over cream. But I don't want to put butter on first. That seems excessive.
Oh no, you've got to layer it on. You got to layer it. It's an excessive thing though. You don't have a cream every day. It's a treat.
I mean, I would do the cream really thick because I love clotted cream, but I don't want to do the butter on first. That seems like a lot.
Or you could just have strawberries and cream, and then it doesn't really matter.
Or the controversial raspberries, like a raspberry compote and cream, which has been known in the north.
What are you talking about, Emily?
I'm just saying it's happened. I'm not saying it's good. It's really delicious. It's really delicious. But I've only encountered that in Yorkshire, so I don't know if that's just by happenstance, or whether that's the Yorkshire interpretation. This is the thing. I imagine that America has very similar regional delicacies or regional ways of creating delicacies. People get very territorial over. I don't know though.
Biscuits and gravy in the south and cream chip beef in the north. Like we didn't grow up with
biscuits and
yes, I know. One of my favorite things to watch on TikTok is British people eating biscuits and gravy for the first time because it looks terrible.
Hang on. When I say biscuits and you say biscuits, are we talking about the same thing?
No, we're talking about
I was like,
similar to a scone, but slightly more tender. So it's
so
similar.
When I say biscuits, you say cookie.
Yes.
Right, because I was like, why are you putting gravy on a sweet treat? This is madness.
Yeah, but it's white sausage gravy on biscuits in the south, and then cream chip beef on toast in the north.
Biscuits like a dumpling?
No, it's much more like a scone than a dumpling. So it's cooked dry, not like in
scone is sweet here.
It's not sweet, but it's that same kind of layered. You break it in half kind of thing. It's like the layered fat.
I'm enjoying this, but
it's like a roll. That's what it is.
But leavened with baking soda or baking powder instead of yeast.
Can I ask a question? What are grits?
Like polenta.
Oh right, okay.
It's very similar to polenta.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to cook that on a
What are grits?
Sunday.
Grits are
would you?
delicious, is what
Too
grits are.
I'm googling grits. I don't know what polenta is. So I've got no form of reference.
It's corn, like cornmeal mush.
It's
essentially.
porridge.
Yeah, it's cornmeal
Lovely.
mush, and you
Oh,
can put
right.
like a ton of cheese in them, which makes them even more better. And then if you really want to get fancy, you can put a ton of cheese in them, and then you can put cooked shrimp and put shrimp on top, and then you have shrimp and grits. And
Wow.
As a half Scot, the
yummy
idea
stuff.
of putting shrimp in porridge is offensive.
I know,
That confuses me.
I'm telling you, sometimes you just gotta taste.
This is the thing. I do like butter fried mushrooms in porridge, which offends all my Scottish relatives to no end. And yet, that is the correct response. That is the correct response, but it's so delicious. It's like salty, buttery, umami, and then porridge. Like, it's very good.
No, I don't like it sweet, like that cream of wheat sweet with fruit. No, but savory, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from Philly, and so nobody should ever bother buying a cheesesteak if you're not in Philly, because they're not the same, and it's just pointless.
They are not, and you should not request anything either. You should just get it the way you get it. You know.
What is the difference, or is that a dangerous question to ask?
It's just a lot of it has to do with the roll, I think. The roll, the Philly cheesesteak roll is like super soft and it doesn't overwhelm the sandwich.
Okay.
And then you have the steak and onions and a little bit of cheese, and it's all grilled in the oven, and it's delicious.
Okay. Christine, have you got any regional delicacies?
Well, since I live in New England, nobody makes New England clam chowder or lobster or
I'm so hungry now.
steamers, anything.
I love that.
Love clam chowder. I love clam chowder.
I mean, I go down, to Florida or whatever, you can't have lobster down there and the clam chowder. You really have to get it. You have to get it from up here.
Yeah,
Like
and
the
lobster
Philly
rolls,
cheesesteak.
just lobster rolls. We could just eat our way up and down the coast, and then hop on.
We
in.
could. You can get good.
I mean, it's not the end of the world. I mean, Elizabeth and I are from an island nation. All coastal food is typically very good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think because you have to eat it right then. I think that was something that Diana Gabaldon said in Outlander, or that Claire's character said in Outlander, that the food was either very, very good or really horrible. Because if you got it when it was fresh, it was very, very good.
Right.
No, I mean, like in days of yore before refrigeration and stuff.
I don't know, like a lot of like smoked salmon and like salted meat and salted fish is a preservative thing, and things like smoked mackerel. I don't know what America eats. I'm very British, as everyone can tell from my accent. Smoked mackerel is like, it's partly a delicacy, but also partly like very basic. I don't know what you think, Elizabeth. Like, it depends on kind of what restaurant you're in or how you're cooking it. But smoked mackerel is so delicious. And normal mackerel, I wouldn't eat. But if it's smoked, that preservative process, so good.
That's oily, right? That's an oily fish.
It is quite oily.
I mean, not when it's smoked, though. It's a little bit like smoked salmon doesn't feel oily because it's had that process. Even though technically it's an oily fish, it doesn't feel like, you don't taste it and go oily. It's very, very good.
I can't buy smoked salmon because my children turn into Americans with their portion size, and I cannot afford to buy as much smoked salmon as they would.
It's like
the St. bagel where it's stuffed this thick.
This is the thing. We're an island nation, so here in pretty much every supermarket, you can buy smoked salmon trimmings. So it's all the trimmings of the main thing, and it's like super cheap because it's all the offcuts.
Yeah.
And so I just do that like in a sandwich or in a quiche or with pasta, and it's like a third of the price.
Oh, that's perfect. That sounds perfect. Well, we're going to talk about food all day.
Salmon there's a couple of foods that I think are such a great idea and that I hate. And salmon is one of them. Like, I really want to like salmon and I really don't. And same with tomato juice. Such a good idea. I just cannot.
No, I can't.
Do you like tuna? That's my question.
Yeah, I like tuna.
So tuna's my like I'll eat it if I have to. If it's given to me, of course I'll eat it. But like I would never go out and choose it.
Not a tuna steak, but like the tuna in the can. Yeah, I can do that.
Nope. Keep it away from me.
It's got like a bajillion grams of protein and like.
I'm not saying it hasn't.
Calories,
Keep it away from me. Keep it away.
Pickle relish and crackers, and away we go. There's my lunch.
See, this is the trouble. Again, island nation, you think all fish is acceptable. No, tuna is wrong. It should never. No. Stay in the ocean.
Well, also tuna is high in mercury.
There we go.
So it is not the kind of thing you should have every day, really.
There we go.
Yeah. I have worries about that. But you're absolutely right about tomato juice. That's like nobody should do that. Why would anybody do that? You don't do well, no.
I
You wanna
do
cook it in
like.
gazpacho. What is gazpacho?
Oh,
It's actually very tasty.
Christine,
I've
like,
had it made,
you
I've
like
had it
it,
made
Christine?
for me. Very nice.
I
If
was
it's
going to
cooked
talk
well.
about the tomato juice. If you get the spicy V8 juice, it's good. The plain, no.
All right.
I can't. My mother lived on that stuff.
All right.
So I tried it a whole bunch
Over
of times.
It's over.
Thinking, this is such a great idea. You could just drink your vegetables. This is fantastic. But I cannot do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My grandaunt used to make it, and my dad loved it. So he would always be bugging her, to give him cans that she'd can it for him, to give him cans of tomato juice. And I'm like, oh, it has a slickery thing on your tongue. We have to stop, or we're going to be doing food for like 4 hours. So if you are in the States and you have a long weekend and you have delicious food waiting for you, we have got the books for you. We've got enough books to keep you busy all weekend long. I'll make sure I pop the links in the comments so you can grab them. You want to get your Dragonblade books when they're on pre-order or release, best deal ever. And we've got lots of things coming up. So check out the Dragonblade, is dragonbladepublishing.com. Check out the main page and sign up for the newsletter, and you will not miss any of the big stuff that's coming. So thanks, ladies. Thanks for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Going to get lunch now.